Hi, my name's Rachel and today we have another episode of Authors Behaving Badly. Today's author is Sarah Stusek, who's been dropped by her publisher for using the worst marketing tactic I've ever seen. Before we get into that, I wanted to offer an idea on how we can work together as a bookish community, all of us, and in fact even outside of the bookish community. Everyone can benefit here to make better use of our time, an idea that will maybe help us get 5 stars instead of 4 stars, an idea that will certainly help us create better time management strategies and better marketing tactics. All of us are learning all the time, and all of us can use help and fresh ideas sometimes. And that brings me to today's sponsor, which is Skillshare. I personally really struggle with time management, as most of you know, and Skillshare has a class for that. More than one, actually. In fact, they have a class for everyone. You might know Skillshare for their classes in photography and film and illustration and video editing, but Skillshare has a variety of career-focused classes and even things outside of career. Skillshare is an online learning community where you can take thousands of classes and focus in on whatever interests you. Working from home, personally, and being a full-time stay-at-home mom, I really struggle with time management, and Skillshare has classes that have been vital to me lately in learning how to manage my time in a way that helps me balance my working from home and taking care of my kids and taking care of myself. One class that I can personally recommend is Working from Home as a Creative. This class has been a wealth of information for me recently in an easily digestible format, which I need, and I've really benefited from this. That's been my goal that Skillshare has helped me achieve: time management and also organization. I have been so on top of using my weekly and monthly planner. I get one every year and I go through months of not being able to use it, and then I use it, and then I fall off for 4.5 weeks. Thanks to what I've learned in Skillshare classes, I've been able to maintain using my monthly planner and staying on top of my goals. Maybe your goal is that you want to learn productivity tips so that you can create more me time. Maybe your goal is to learn how to effectively market your product on the internet. Or maybe you're an author who wants to learn how to improve their craft. Skillshare teachers take us step by step to learn what you need to know, and there's thousands of classes to choose from so you can find the one that's right for you. Speaking of teachers, y'all know how much I love Saba Tahir. I have loved everything she's written. I love the Ember in the Ashes series. Well, you can take Saba Tahir's class on Skillshare called Writing Authentic Fiction: How to Build a Believable Character. And I'm just saying, I have personally given everything that Saba Tahir has written 5 stars. I did watch her series on Skillshare and I found it incredibly helpful. Even though I'm not really a writer, I'm a reviewer. Even watching from that capacity was incredibly helpful for me. Learning about the craft of writing does help me in my capacity of my job as a reviewer. So Skillshare has been helpful in that regard for me as well. So if you want to work on your time management, better your writing craft, learn better marketing tips, good news, because Skillshare has partnered up with me today to get you a deal. The first 1,000 people who click the link down below in my description box will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare, meaning you will have the opportunity to explore the entire Skillshare classes library for free for an entire month. So click that link below to grab that offer, and thank you so much to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. And today's video was not one that I was planning to do, but I was asked repeatedly to do. It's at this point, this entire situation has gotten pretty wild. It's a pretty out of hand thing, and there's many layers to this beyond her calling one reviewer not nice name and then revealing another reviewer's last name, which, you know, could be perceived to be an intimidation tactic by certain people, sure. However, I want you to listen to me so carefully. Don't go talk to her. Don't waste your time. We just talked about time management. Don't waste your time. There is no combination of words put in a particular order that you could say that will magically make her stop being the way that she's being. And that goes for a lot of authors. Definitely don't be like the person who told Sarah Stusek, "I hope your dog dies." Don't bring the dog into this. What did the dog ever do to you? Other comments felt like, even though they were Taylor Swift lyrics, they felt like mildly threatening. Please stop that. Why are people like this? Just block her and don't bother. Like, before we get into this, I want to make it so abundantly clear that I think y'all should just block her. No matter how many times people ask certain people to apologize, certain people are not going to apologize. She should, but she won't. Don't waste your time. And another thing I want to say is that in my comment section, we're going to be not saying certain things. So please don't make fun of anybody's appearance. Please don't blame anything on mental illness, because that's ableist. It's fine to say like, holy crap, what the frick, this is ridiculous, but let's not like make fun of people's appearances and say, have you been tested for this and this disorder? Like, let's not do that. All right? Okay, let's get into this. I hope this video will encourage other people not only to not interact with this person, because I think it's a waste of time, but encourage other authors. Don't do this. Don't do this. If you are reading your reviews and you feel some kind of way about getting a particular rating, text a friend, text your mother, call your therapist. Please do not tell the entire internet that you think a reviewer is a bitch for not giving you 5 stars. Please don't do that. Sarah Stusek is an alleged comedian and was going to be a first-time author with her debut novel, The Three Rivers, set to release this September this year by a hybrid publisher called Spark Press. I will touch on hybrid publishers in this video, but I'm gonna be honest that I don't really know the ins and outs, and I feel like that's part of a larger conversation that I can't really give much opinion on because I'm not that well educated on the topic. So I'll try to leave some resources down below for y'all to learn about hybrid publishing versus vanity publishing, if they're the same, if they're not. I don't know. I don't know enough. It's one of those times where I'm like, I just don't know. The novel, Three Rivers, was semi-autobiographical and was set in the wilderness based on her real life experiences of going through a wilderness therapy program, which honestly, it's a shame all of this happened because I would have been interested in reading such a thing. Sarah's bio says Sarah Stusek got her start in the film and television industry as a child actor when she was 5 years old. She was born and raised in Annapolis, Maryland, and attended Coastal Carolina University, where she fell in love with being on the other side of the camera. After graduation, she worked her way up on hit programs like HBO's Veep and Netflix's House of Cards. And by that she means she was an assistant to the regional manager. Just kidding. She was an assistant to the executive producer. She has since started her own production company, Stusek Studios, which produces commercials, films, and digital content. Sarah has been searching for a way to tell the story of her experiences as a child actor sent to a wilderness therapy program in Montana by 2 people her parents hired to take her in the middle of the night for the past 10 years. The result is Three Rivers, her debut novel. She currently lives in Alexandria, Virginia with her boyfriend and their boxer dog, Bo. The description of her book was, or is, I don't know. How do you phrase that when the book is no longer being published? Although allegedly, she says that she got another publisher. Anyway, here's the synopsis. This isn't happening. It's only a nightmare. Only a stupid dream. Just wake up, Stella. I feel like I said that so blasé versus how it's actually supposed to be said. I'm sorry. Yikes. I'm not gonna do it again. Just know I'm embarrassed. But it isn't a dream. 2 strangers take Stella from her bedroom in the middle of the night and haul her off to Three Rivers, a wilderness therapy program for troubled teens. At the program, Stella puts up as much resistance to participating as she can. She's not an at-risk youth. She's not a felon or a druggie or an arsonist like the rest of the kids in her group. She's a normal teenager who happens to star on a hit TV show, but slowly, despite herself, she starts to open up, make friends, and confront why she was really sent there. When asked the question, why did you decide to become an author, she says, when I was being transported to Three Rivers, the woman who was escorting me said, you should write a book about this. A lot of people say they're going to and never follow through with it. You should do it. And it has taken me over 10 years, but here we are. That story feels so unbelievable. Like, so some stranger took you at the behest of your parents, was paid money to take you from your bed in the middle of the night, pulled you out screaming, put you in a car, and on the way to where you're going said, you should write a book about this. Another thing that just feels so blasé, and this time it's not coming from me. Sarah did not star in a hit TV show like the titular, the main character of her book, Stella. So obviously, yes, this is in fact semi-autobiographical. Doing commercials as a kid and being an assistant to the regional manager of Veep is not the same as being a child star. So despite her being upset at being told the ending of her book was predictable because she says, okay, well, it's my life story. Not all of it is actually her life story because it's not a memoir. So it would make sense to a reviewer who doesn't fucking know you that maybe a part wasn't exactly predictable, although people's lives are sometimes predictable. So that comment doesn't even make any fucking sense. Anyway, I'll get more into that in a second. Wilderness therapy is the part that is semi-autobiographical here. And of this experience, Sarah Stusek says, when she was 17 years old, she was brought to a wilderness therapy program. She says that she was originally going to make it into a film, that her producer, Wendy Geary, and her met while working on the hit Emmy award-winning HBO's Veep 7 years ago and have worked towards making this film together ever since. More about us in a minute. Let's get back to Three Rivers. When I was 17 years old, I attended blah, blah, blah. It changed my outlook on life. I lived in the backcountry of Montana in the middle of winter for 3 months. I was in a co-ed group of other teenagers labeled troubled or at-risk youth that had to work together and independently to survive. The program in the woods. Why is program in the woods hyphenated? Can somebody who's smarter than me tell me if that's correct? Why is that hyphenated? I learned not only lessons about nature and survival skills, but the importance of communication and cooperation. However, by far the most important lessons I learned were about myself. These were not always easy lessons to learn, but I kept at it. After I learned to confront my feelings, I began to understand them. Wait. So you learned the importance of communication and cooperation, and then you called a reviewer a bitch for giving you 4 stars instead of 5. I don't think the wilderness therapy thing is as effective as you might think for that purpose. I went to wilderness therapy in 2007. It's taken me 12 years to get to a place where I could separate myself from the story. So this is a story of Stella, a teenager of today, blah, blah, blah. But I don't think you did separate yourself from the story if you're saying it's your life story, even though it's not. It's a novel, it's semi-autobiographical, and you were mad that somebody said that the ending was predictable because it's your real life. Maybe you haven't separated yourself as much as you think. But we talk, again, I'm pushing it further and further away. Before we talk about what she said to a particular reviewer, let's do a little background on the wilderness therapy program, because that is really interesting to me, and I feel like there's going to be a documentary on such a thing not long from now. And I looked up Red Cliff Ascent.
Hi, so quick note here. I cannot find anything about the Three Rivers because the Three Rivers no longer exists, but somebody who is anonymous who says that they knew Sarah Stusek said that the Three Rivers was affiliated with an umbrella organization called Red Cliff Ascent. So I'm going to talk about that here because I can't find much about the Three Rivers because it's defunct now. I cannot confirm that this person actually knows Sarah Stusek, so I'm just going to talk about Red Cliff Ascent here, because that's all the information that I have, but I cannot, again, confirm anything. So I just want to make that clear. Okay, bye.
And it says, the best way to describe our students is good kids who are making bad decisions. Red Cliff Ascent is especially helpful to troubled teens who may struggle with a variety of emotional and behavioral concerns, including adoption anxiety, attachment issues, ADHD, autism spectrum disorder, compulsive disorder, depression, emotional disorders, failure to lunch, family issues, obsessive compulsive disorder, ODD, PTSD, school refusal, substance abuse disorders, and trauma. I don't understand how an expensive program that can only be afforded by the rich doesn't have a website that at least lists the scientific proof for how their wilderness program helps with autism and ADHD and OCD. Also, I reject the idea that having 2 adults rip me from my bed screaming in the night and kidnap me and take me out into the Montana wilderness will cure my OCD. I know they didn't say cure, but it feels a little miracle cure-y to me. Sure as shit wouldn't help my kid who is autistic, though. The idea of somebody doing that to him, pulling him out of his bed in the middle of the night, even if I paid for it or not, is fucking horrifying. Thank you so much. I don't know what their pricing was in 2007 when first 60 days is $485 per day, so that's $33,950, and I assume there's also a flat intake fee of several $1,000s, as well as like more add-ons like psychological testing and things. So that's the price for 70 days, and Sarah says she did 3 months. So again, just suffices to say, shit's expensive. Apparently it's tax deductible, though, of course it is, because as usual, the rich find ways to maintain being rich. It's a shame that these programs don't churn out teens who eventually become adults who know better than to call someone a bitch for not giving them what they want. Yeah, let's talk about that. This book had less than 10 reviews on Goodreads before all this happened. It was not yet published. It was coming out in September, and advanced reader copies were given out, as you know they do, to drive up hype and get early reviews. Along comes a reviewer. This was her first advanced reader copy review. I'm so sorry. And towards the end of May, she gives a very nice 4-star review. I cannot stress enough that this was not a negative, I don't like that word, review. It said, this was a really great first novel. Stella's experiences were obviously based off the true stories of the author, and I loved how intricate the details about the show Stella was on were, LOL. The ending was kind of predictable, but other than that, it was incredible. 4 stars. It was a nice, short and sweet, honest review that a reviewer like myself honestly would have found helpful, because it's not just like blowing smoke up the author's ass, and it says like what exact details that she liked, and it also says like where she felt it could have been stronger. To me, this would have been a review that would have led me to be interested in the book personally as a review consumer. Sarah did not feel that way, so she posted this TikTok in response. Well, not in response. Out of nowhere, unwarranted, she posted this TikTok.
Perfect 5-star average till this bitch came along. She said it was really great. The ending was kind of predictable. Yeah, well, it's my life, not a fucking murder mystery. But other than that, it was incredible. So you just gave me 4 stars. Why?
By the way, come to find out, this is not the first time she said this. She also called a different reviewer who it looks like he never got a copy of the book, so he reviewed it without even reading it in the first place, but she decided to call him a motherfucker instead of just, I don't know, letting it go.
This miserable man, we'll call him Lawrence because that's his name. Lawrence went to my books page on Goodreads, okay, this is my book, Three Rivers, Sarah Stusek, and gave it 1 star. Now, my book's not even out yet. Unless I've personally sent you an ARC, there's no way you're getting tickets to this show. But this motherfucker went out of his way to give me a 1-star rating and bring my average down. Get a life.
And Book Talk, understandably, was really unhappy about it because calling a reviewer a bitch is never okay, but doing it because you got 4 stars instead of 5? Seriously? This is not the first time that somebody, that not an author, I can't think of an author who's called a reviewer a bitch, but I know that Kiera Cass, and I was just like, actually just told this today, Kiera Cass was upsetty spaghetti that a certain review of her book, more positive reviews were not at the top of Goodreads, and that this one was the top, that this particular review that was negative was the top, oh for God's sake, was the one at the top of the Goodreads page for her book. She didn't call the reviewer a bitch, but her agent, I believe, did. Agent, publicist, agent, editor, agent. One of those people called the reviewer a bitch, and then they talked publicly about trying to get people to go upvote the more positive reviews so that the negative review would get like drowned out by positivity, which just goes to show that like obviously authors are not seeing how like people who consume reviews and how use them to help us determine like what we're going to buy. Obviously you don't know that we scroll. So anyway, Sarah was made aware of how awful calling the reviewer a bitch was, and instead of saying, maybe I shouldn't call someone a bitch and I should focus on cooperation and communication. I shouldn't, you know, call somebody a bitch for not giving me exactly what I want, the thing I believe I deserve. Instead of that, she took a different approach to pushback, which is doubling down.
I'm literally a comedian. You obviously haven't read my book. Anyways, I got a community guidelines violation because you guys can't take a joke. But anyways, welcome to the show.
It was at this point that all of us were like, oh, okay, you're one of those. See, we've seen this nonsense before. Not with Kiera Cass, but with another author. See, Sarah Stusek is obviously a graduate of the Lauren Huff School of Book Marketing. If you recall, Lauren Huff also saw that she got rated just below a 5 and had a temper tantrum. She received 2 reviews that were 4.5 stars, screenshotted those reviews with the reviewers' names, didn't block them out, and posted it to her audience of 70,000 people, and then name called. Upset that she did not get the 5 stars she felt she was owed. She told reviewers to grow up, called reviewers Goodreads assholes and nerds on a power trip, which is why some of us now have t-shirts that say nerd on a power trip. People fought with her. She pretended to be unbothered. Meanwhile, her book was 1-star bombed. She threw a several days long tantrum. I don't have an authors behaving badly video about this. I'll link somebody else's video below that sort of did one, but Lauren Huff has continued to double down about this and say obtuse and shitty things on the internet, and I assume so will Sarah, because she's obviously a graduate of the Lauren Huff School of Marketing. And just like the incident here with Sarah, any asking at that point with Lauren Huff, okay, if this is a joke, then what's the punchline, was met with not only an inability to explain why name calling when you don't get your way is a joke, but an inability to even apologize at all. Beat for beat, this is what happened with Lauren Huff. I asked Sarah what the punchline was, no answer. I remember asking Lauren Huff what the punchline was, and one of her followers commented back and said the punchline is "you're an asshole." Okay. Which basically sums up the demeanor of Lauren and her supporters. So since Sarah graduated magna cum laude of Lauren Huff University of Book Marketing, it makes sense that she would continue to double down. Yeah. The reviewer who she called a bitch seems really sweet. And I'll just like let her speak for herself because she did do videos on what happened, so I'm just gonna let you hear her tell her side of the story.
Hi, so I'm just gonna make a quick video on the situation that's happening right now. So I got an early copy of the book, Three Rivers. I literally made an account on this website because I wanted to read the book. Okay, and this was the first book I've ever gotten to read early. And so I read it and I thought that it was good, and just the ending was a little bit predictable, but I thought it was good for a first-time author and whatever, so I left an honest review of it. And then my Goodreads is blowing up, and come to find out the author made a TikTok making fun of me and calling me a bitch. I don't know, I would really appreciate it if the author could apologize to me for being mean for no reason. This review, I also wrote this like 3 or 4 days ago, so I don't know, it's just, this whole thing is just so weird, but I really appreciate that everyone's being so nice to me. Like,
I think it's really important that she noted that she did not find it funny because it wasn't a joke. It's not funny to be called a bitch for not giving somebody what they want. Like, isn't that what men who catcall us like do? And yet we know that that's not a fucking joke. Anyway, the videos were taken down at the request of this reviewer, and Sarah did in fact apologize to her privately, as you can hear in this follow-up TikTok by the reviewer.
hi everyone, I wanted to come on and make a part 2 to my statement that I made yesterday. I just wanted to share that the author, she did reach out to me over Instagram. She sent me a voice message of her apologizing, which I do appreciate. I asked that she take the video down of her like deflecting on the situation and anything related to it. But thank you everyone for being so nice to me about this. And the people who followed me on TikTok, thank you. Should I post like reviews about books on here now that I'm kind of a part of Book Talk? Like, I don't know, let me know what people think. But yeah, in short, she did apologize.
I guess she said in a voice note, I did not mean to be aggressive and I'm so sorry that it was. I want to make sure you're okay. I was being sarcastic and I'm sorry that I was way off base and that it didn't land. I don't care about the 1-star reviews or the angry mob coming after me. I just want to make sure you're okay. I'm sorry that I hurt you. All right. Then there was a third TikTok made by this reviewer because there was a Gizmodo interview of both the reviewer and Sarah Stusek.
I was interviewed by an editor with Gizmodo named Blake Montgomery about the situation. And he also spoke with Sarah. I wasn't told what she said. The only thing I was told is that she said we spoke on the phone, like had a phone call, which we did not. She sent me a voice memo on Instagram for an apology. The article was just published. I was interviewed for this like an hour and a half ago, so it's like crazy that it's already out, but it should be the newest article on the Gizmodo site, Gizmodo. So if you want to read it, then you can go to the website. But yeah, I just wanted to update everyone on that, on the situation.
And the title of this article is Publisher Drops Author After TikTok Backlash and Goodreads Review Bombing. Because yes, Sarah was dropped by her publisher. Here's the tweets about it from them on May 31st. For a number of reasons, including but not limited to attacking a reviewer and multiple others online, we have decided to part ways with one of our authors. We appreciate our readers and value the time it takes to read and leave author reviews. While we cannot mandate our authors' actions and reactions to their reviews, we do not condone attacking or making disparaging comments about reviewers under any circumstances. We are a publisher whose founding principles are rooted in elevating authors' voices, which is not possible without readers. This lack of alignment, in addition to the behavior exhibited by one of our authors, has led us to part ways. We value our community of readers and reviewers, and our authors and team work so hard to amplify and uplift authors' voices and to share in the beauty and privilege of publishing books and finding readers. Thank you to everyone who took the time to share thoughts with us. So yes, the book did get review bombed. We assume that Goodreads eventually turned off the ability to review the book entirely because there have been no ratings after May 31st. It got 651 1-star reviews, leading to its average being around 110 stars total, which yikes. Quick note here, even though I've said this in other videos, despite some people saying that I condone it, I do not condone review bombing. And let me explain to you why. I don't think it has the effect that you're hoping, and I don't think that we can have a conversation about review bombing without taking into account that even if you think you are in the right, and even if you are in the right that the author is doing shitty stuff, other people who you disagree with about other things have all the same opportunity as you to review bomb as well, and they typically are going to. So and then we get into seeing people like go after each other and review bomb each other's work or the works of whomever's side you're on. And like right now, IMDb had to turn off ratings and reviews for the Little Mermaid movie because racists were being racist and 1-starring it even though they haven't seen it just because they're racist. Anyone can review bomb no matter what you believe in, and I think we should instead find a different way to show we aren't cool with author behavior. The only review bombing that I agree with and engage in is this one particular thing, and it is, and I encourage you all to do it, review bomb crisis pregnancy centers. Go online, find your local crisis pregnancy center, give them a 1-star. You want to know why? Because their fake health clinic lied to people with uteruses about medical information. And in the state of Florida, they're given tax dollars to lie to pregnant people about their own medical information. Review bomb the shit out of them. They deserve it. That's the only time I agree with it. But it's your Goodreads, so do what you want, I guess. But I'm not gonna advocate for censorship rules on Goodreads either. I don't personally review bomb because I don't think it has has any effect. I think reviews should be about the book itself rather than the author, and I think that if you want to talk about author behavior, I think you should post about it on social media, hashtag it, let people know. But like that, the effect you're hoping to have, it'll happen, but review bombing, it's not gonna happen. Reviews should be about the content of the book itself to help people determine if it's something they're interested in reading or not. The best way to talk about books is to be honest about what's inside the book, which is why I have a series called Did It Deserve 1 Star, where I review books that got 1 star bomb to try to determine if I feel like from a craft perspective they deserve the 1 star. So I did this with Lauren Huff's book actually, which I ended up giving 2.5 stars. I give her behavior a 1 for sure, but on Goodreads her book is rated 2.5 from me because I don't think it's very good. I think shelving books by authors as no thank you or problematic author is another option that maybe you can use, but I don't think 1 star is really doing like what people are hoping that it does. And I'll remind you all that racists also 1 star books by people of color just because they're racist. Let's not be like them. I mean, you can if you want to, but like I would encourage, like best practice I think is to just shelve it as problematic author and move on. Because 1 starring books actually gives them more traction. So like if 651 people are 1 starring a book en masse, it's actually going to like boost that, give more eyes to the book in question. I think that we should all find an option that has the outcomes that we're actually hoping for. Moving on from that, yes, her book was review bombed. Yes, her publisher dropped her, and she says or seems unbothered by all of this, as she's posted a shit ton of TikToks acting, I mean, unbothered is one way to put it.
Here I am, so young and strong. Ain't enough, taking another punch is much too rough.
Did you hear about the girl who lives in delusion? Breakups happen every day, don't have to lose it. And if I'm dead to you, why are you at the way?
She still thinks she's going to get this book made into a movie and claims that she already has another publisher for the book and that she now has another book coming out and that she made $35K. I'm not sure if she meant dollars or not in 2 days. Someone mentioned, hey, isn't the studio who optioned 3 Rivers as a movie your own studio? And she came back saying this.
I woke up to the most exciting email. Now I have to get ready for a business meeting very last minute. Some people do really think I'm funny. Because I am. Just because you don't get it is okay with me. I'm not gonna explain it to you. We go to the mall? I feel like you guys will tell me what to do. You always do. If you guys are gonna incessantly talk about me, you have to at least get your facts right. Because you're spinning so many crazy narratives, it's insane. So we'll start from the beginning. I was a child actor. I just did commercials. It wasn't that cool. Then when I went to college, I decided I wanted to be behind the camera instead of in front of the camera. So I started working in the film and television industry. I worked as a PA. I worked my way up. I worked for HBO. I worked for Netflix. And then I went to advertising. I started working in commercials. And then I was an in-house advertising producer. And then I went and worked for different brands and did their content for them as working for the brand. Then I left in 2018 and I started my own thing. I started working freelance and I called my production company Stusek Studios. And that's what I do now. I work freelance as a producer and I make content for people. So in 2020, I wrote the script 3 Rivers, okay? I've always owned it. I brought on a producer at that time that said he could get the money to get the show made. And everyone's saying, oh, why don't you just pay for it yourself? If I had $1.8 million, I would pay for it myself, but I can't. So now I'm trying to find a new producer who actually can get it made because earlier this year, I let my producer go because he couldn't get it made. So I'm looking for a new producer who actually can get it made because I was like, this is the year the book's coming out. It's kind of like sink or swim. We have to find somebody who can actually get it made. So that's what we're doing now, okay? I hope everybody loved my story. Let me know if you have any more questions, you crazy people. Quick meeting recap while I'm waiting to pick up my boyfriend from the metro, because I know you're dying to know. I met with these really cool producers. So just some background for all the new trolls here who don't know my life story. My book was originally a movie that a producer had for 3 years, and we parted ways earlier this year because he couldn't get it made. And so now with all the recent hype, I've been getting a lot of inquiries from producers that now want to make the movie. So now, thanks to all my haters, all my dreams are coming true. So the producers that I met with today had some really cool ideas. I really liked where they were going with it, but I'm meeting with other people and I don't really know like what direction the project's gonna go. Whoa. And there's only 3 people that I want to play the lead, that I would allow to play the lead. And one of them has already agreed to do it. We haven't like negotiated or like signed contracts or anything, but she likes the project. So it's going to be a fun and exciting adventure. And thanks to you guys for giving me all the engagement, so it would pop off like this. I know you're still pissed at me, but it'll be over in no time.
As I said, she also seems unbothered about being dropped by the particular publisher, which is Spark Press, saying in the Gizmodo interview, as far as her publisher dropping her, Stusek counts that as a blessing in disguise. She said other authors reached out to her with congratulations for being disentangled from the publisher. She's still in negotiations with Spark Press and did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Those people are sketchy as hell. I didn't hear from them once until they asked for a public apology to Spark Press. They're just worried about it making them look bad. It's kind of like an MLM. I had no idea what it was getting into. I wish she would have elaborated on why it was like an MLM. Interesting. I mean, why would you pay thousands of dollars to a publisher without knowing what you're getting into? Because Spark Press is pay to play. You have to pay almost $10,000 to be published by them. Once people found out, they were like, oh, so you went with a vanity press. Vanity press is a type of publishing where an author pays to publish, and it's called vanity press in like a pejorative way because it doesn't have a great track record, because it's like anybody can be published, just give us thousands of dollars. Hybrid publishing is what Spark Press is actually called. Some people are saying that there's a difference between hybrid publishing and vanity publishing. Y'all can tell me in the comments because I don't know anything about this, but they're saying that the difference is that hybrid publishing actually does submissions, whereas vanity publishing, anybody gets published as long as you pay up. I don't know. Hybrid publishing is supposed to be like the medium between self-publishing and traditional publishing, where in a hybrid publishing model, the publisher and the author share the cost of publishing the book and distributing the book, and the author is responsible for paying a fee to cover the cost. And hybrid publishers don't pay an author in advance, but they do pay royalties immediately. Supposedly, it's supposed to give an author more control. I don't know. I would love for y'all to educate me in the comments about this. I know that there are tons of you out there who know more than me. I tried to do like a cursory glance, and I was like, wow, I don't know. This is all suddenly, it's like, I don't know, I can't read. And Sarah Stusek did actually talk about her struggles with the hybrid publishing sect in this article on Indie Reader. It's very brief. The post is titled, Author Sarah Stusek, being a hybrid publisher is exhausting. So much of it falls on your shoulders. And it's just a series of questions. The last one, which is, would you go traditional if a publisher came calling? If so, why? Yes, I would love to. Being a hybrid author is exhausting. So much of it falls on your shoulders, and I would love to have a more reliable partner in the process. Which, one, is ironic because they dropped her after she could not be relied upon to not call a reviewer a bitch. And two, I highly doubt that a traditional publisher ended up picking her up. If any publisher picked her up, it definitely was not a trad pub. So did she go with another hybrid pub after she said she doesn't like it? Anywhoozy, moving on to the other reviewers she treated like shit though. Full disclosure, this is a friend of mine. So there's a reviewer named Haley, hi Haley, who is Dr. Haley. She's a doctor, not an alleged doctor. She's a real doctor. Stop saying she's not a real doctor. Y'all sound so immature. She's on TikTok under the name The Page Sage, and she regularly talks about the goings on in the book community, but also has like done a lot of work to showcase disability rep. When all of this with Sarah happened, Haley commented in defense of the reviewer multiple times, and it's important to note that Haley keeps her last name private. Relatable because so do I, for this exact reason. However, as authors like Kathleen Hale show, reviewers aren't allowed to have privacy or go by pseudonyms online for privacy. We're not allowed that. Wanting to protect ourselves, ew, gross. Haley and Sarah had some back and forth in the comments, which escalated when not once, not twice, but 4 separate times, Sarah commented back saying, thanks for that Dr. Haley last name, using her full government name. This obviously scared the shit out of Haley, which I assume, given the context, I am led to assume that that was the intention. If it's not the intention, I would love to hear what the intention was. Actually, I don't want to hear it because I don't want to talk to Sarah Stusek. Please leave me alone too. Haley even tried to say, hey, I'm sorry, I came off mean, and Sarah continued to say Haley's government name in her comments section for her 100,000 followers to see. Haley's still unsure how Sarah Stusek even found her last name, as she's gone to lengths to try to protect herself, and Sarah has been asked and asked and asked to apologize for this, but she does not seem to care and continues to put up TikToks acting like she's loving the attention and is so unbothered and is raking in cash now.
I need to completely reset my TikTok to get all these crazy people that are obsessed with me off of my page and have like my normal people come back who are like cool and chill and want to do things that I do. So I'm going to just like say keywords like I would in my boyfriend's phone so he sees the ads that I want him to see. So like the good people come back. Okay. So fun, happiness, shopping, vlogging, eating good food. What else do we like to do? Oh, dogs. love, joy, happiness, comedians, jokes, funny. Let's see, what else do we like to do? I like to play pickleball. I like to drive around in my car and make videos and pretty much just have a good time. Oh, I like to smoke weed. Is that cool with you guys? I bet you guys don't smoke weed because you're not that cool. So hopefully that will be the one that'll go poof. See you never.
All of this is so ridiculous, but that part about weed, I mean, listen, I don't know who you're buying from, but whoever you're buying from obviously is not giving you very good shit if you're smoking and then you're going online to call people a bitch for giving you 4 stars instead of 5. All I'm gonna say is, couldn't be me. We don't smoke weed. Meanwhile, on my channel,
What about your channel?
I was talking about how Sarah Stusek says that we suck because we don't smoke weed. It's my weed pen. What am I smelling? Garlic? What is that? Why does it smell so good? What's she making?
Green onion and garlic infused oil.
Oh no, actually I'm not interested. Sarah Stusek says that not only am I not interested in weed, I don't like food. Oh sorry, I can't laugh. Sarah Stusek says I don't like joy.
You're being petty today.
I am. So I just want to close this out by saying a few ideas of how we should be behaving in the book community. Don't call a reviewer a bitch. Don't get upset over 4-star reviews. Maybe don't read your reviews. Stop fucking acting like nothing's bothering you when everybody can tell you're bothered. It's okay to just say you're bothered. Stop armchair diagnosing people in people's comment sections. Don't threaten people's dogs. Keep being like the reviewer and giving honest reviews. And God, that reviewer was so sweet. Like, she seemed so nice. Oh, the weed just hit. Don't out people's government names. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's not cool. If they themselves have not shared it elsewhere publicly on the internet and have tried to keep it on the down low for safety purposes, you should probably maintain that. Don't do that. And also, I just want to end this by saying that I made these t-shirts. It says reviews are for readers, because they are. None of this would have happened if Sarah Stusek had adopted that policy. She could have just said, you know what, 4 stars? I'm gonna text my friend and say that I fucking hate it because it's not a joke to call somebody a bitch. You could have had a good relationship with your reading audience. That's completely gone now. There is no shot. There's no chance. Nobody's gonna wanna watch this movie. Nobody's gonna wanna read the book. It's completely tainted because of the way that you treated people without cooperation and without communication. Maybe you just need another 3 months in the wilderness to reset. I don't know. Maybe you just need better weed. Better weed in the wilderness. I'm just spitballing here. I have great ideas. You know what's another great idea I have? Not calling a reviewer a bitch for giving me 4 stars. Just spitballing here. Just one great idea after another. And remember, if you want to learn better marketing tactics, check out the link down below. Get yourself Skillshare, take some classes, learn communication skills, better marketing tactics. Everybody has room to improve, but when you double down, you really make it work worse for yourself, and like now there's no shot. Now all you can do is like improve on yourself, and I don't know, maybe write under a pseudonym. I think that's your only hope at this point. I'm so sorry. Anyways, thanks for watching. Leave your comments and questions down below. Make sure you educate me about hybrid publishing because I'm truly so confused. Let me know if you too are a joyless, non-weed smoking, hates food, sad person also. That's me. Okay, thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye! It's me, Trash Can Rachel, and before I go I have to say thank you for being a friend to my Therapy Bills patrons, and those are Alexander, Amanda, Ashley, Bubble Tea, Chris, Claire, Des Roberts, Emperor's New Blues, DJ Krimmer, Eric, Jack and Jill, John E, Casey Mackenzie, sorry, Kate, Kelly K, Gwyn, Lex, Lula, Molly, Mrs. Kittybug, Alice, Peggy Lou, Witch Bitch, Rain, Scarlett, Samar, Shiny, SMK, and Zachary. Thank you all so much for being a friend.
And I also have to say thank you for being a friend to my Potato/Marxists patrons, and those are AM Angel, Aiden, Alicia, Amanda B, Andy, Angelica, Anita, Artie the 9th, Ashley H, Aubrey P, Phoebe, Blythe, Bookish Barbie, Ray, Bree, Brenda, Bryn, Caitlin, Carlin, Catherine, Kathy, Chris, CJ, Colleen, Courtney, Corwin, Corey, Darren, Deborah, Diet Goth, Dorian, Dorothea, Ebby, Eden, Elise, Ember, Emily A, Emily L, Faith, Grace, Gracie, Hannah C, Hannah T, T, Harpy Kuro, Hello There Darling, Ilya Naka, India Inks, JM Tenet, Jackal All Trades, Jay Zaman Olympus, JT, Jen H, Jennifer T, Jenny G, Jillian, Jules, Kaylee, Kat, Katya, Keely, Kendra, Kylie, Ellenberg, Laughing Cat Dog, Laura G, Lauren B, Library of Scars, Lisa B, Liz Cardigan, Lustful Octopus, Martin, Maddie, Marquita, Maz, Malara, Meow Meow, James, Nat, Natalie, Never, Nicole G, Nicole R, Nicole T, Nikki, 9 Binary, Paige E, Paige P, Foxglove, Pixel Stars, Piratheon, Quill, Rachel B, Raquel, Rat Sarah, Reba, Rebecca, Ren, Robin, Rowan, Other Rowan, Samantha, Sarah H, Sarah K, Sarah the Bear, Scarlett, Shanae, Shannon, Shayna, Sheena K, Sean, Sierra, Stephanie, Talia, 3 Old Dogs, Tiana, Toast, Trashcan Teddy, Tito Phoenix, Yesenia, Valentine, and Writer A. Thank you all so much for being a friend.